I think this is my single favorite fact of the entire movie. I didn't know it until I got to it, but I love this.
That it was a trilogy?
No, that is my least favorite part. INXS's lead singer, Michael Hutchence, was one of the film's investors. Among 1,400 other investors, including brokers, wealthy cricketers.
Oh,
you know cricket,
yeah.
the sport?
I don't get it, but yeah.
Yeah. The Queensland Investment Bank of Paul Morgan and Company underwrote $7.1 million needed to make the movie. Hogan and Cornell added $600,000 of their own money, and ultimately the film made over $300 million.
It's insane.
I fell in love with Australia because of this movie.
So take me back to 86. This was the second highest grossing movie of that time.
Yeah.
Of 86?
Of that year.
Yeah.
Only beat by Top Gun.
Yeah.
Welcome to Buzzn The Tower, a podcast dedicated to the movies of the 1980s. Prepare to be stuffed in our DeLorean and taken on a trip through the best decade of film ever.
Hey Mo, we better back up. We don't have enough road to get up to 88.
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads. So if you love Caddyshack, The Goonies, Aliens, Weird Science, Spies Like Us, The Great Outdoors, Empire Strikes Back, The Great Muppet Caper, Pretty in Pink, Predator, Rocky IV, Roadhouse, Say Anything, Real Genius, Short Circuit, Some Kind of Wonderful, Beverly Hills Cop, Akira, Tango and Cash, The Breakfast Club, and They Live, just to name a few, then sit back, relax, and get ready to be entertained. Because we came here to chew bubblegum and podcast about 80s movies, and we're all out of bubblegum. If you haven't already, subscribe to Buzzn The Tower on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or whatever your favorite podcast platform is. And while you're there, leave a review and a 5-star rating. It's a moral imperative! You can also find us on TikTok, Instagram, and all social media platforms by searching the tag at Buzzn The Tower. That's BUZZN The Tower. Also, check out our website, buzznthethower.com, and grab some officially licensed gear. It's so choice. If you have the means, I highly recommend picking some up. Now, if you want to get nuts, let's get nuts. Head on over to our Patreon at patreon.com/BuzzNTheTower. With memberships as low as $3 a month, you can have access to tons of extra content, and a portion of all proceeds go directly to Save Ferris. Dark O'Shea, darling, Dark O'Shea. Buzzn The Tower is brought to you by Sonic Loans. You can find them at sonicloans.com. Max, if I were to go to the Outback, which I've done before.
Have you? You haven't told me 38,000 times.
You've never heard that. I would definitely want to buy property. If I want to buy property, I would need a mortgage. And if you need a mortgage, who am I going to send you to, Max? Don't make a bad joke. Just say it the right way.
Sonic Loans.
Had a guy.
Yeah.
You did it right.
Yeah.
The one time.
9 times.
So whether you're fishing for barramundi or going after saltwater crocs, mate. I got so much in the tank. Sonic Loans is the absolute right group to go to if you're looking for a new mortgage or if you're looking to refinance your current mortgage. Charlie and his team are going to make sure you get the best rate. Tell them that Buzzn The Tower sent you. Tell them that you like Crocodile Dundee. At the end of the day, you're getting the best they got, regardless of who sent you, what movie you like. So reach out today. Again, Sonic Loans, Charlie and his team, the best that are out there.
NMLS number 1955855. Not available in all states. Not a commitment to lend. Additional requirements apply. Visit sonicloans.com or call 313-488-4888 for more information. Buzzn The Tower is also brought to you by Bolton Legal Group. You can find them at boltonlegalgroup.com for a free consultation. Call 248-595-0001. Mr. Dundee needs a lawyer.
What has he done?
He punches everybody.
Yeah, but those haymakers. The sound effects, like if I ever punch someone, I just want it to sound like that.
At a dinner table, at a fancy dinner.
I know. What was Australia before it was Australia? It was an island for convicts. And you know what convicts need? They need a good attorney. Bolton Legal Group is going to support you. They're aggressive. They're efficient. Bird law, outback law,
crocodile law,
dingo law, whatever you need.
Aborigine law.
Aboriginal or aborigine?
Both.
Ian and his team of legal experts are awaiting your phone call. Tell them that Buzzn The Tower sent you. Definitely tell them that you watched Crocodile Dundee and that you're a huge fan of the movie, because I know they are. They're going to get in your corner, make sure you're protected. Reach out today. Enjoy the legal experience, whether you're a convict or not. They're there to support. Today's episode, Crocodile Dundee.
Intrigued by the near-death experience of a rugged hunter, Mick Crocodile Dundee, after a close encounter with a monstrous saltwater crocodile, the New York City reporter Sue Charlton travels to Australia to meet the legend in person. There, in a dusty hamlet of Walkabout Creek and the formidable outback, dangerous situations and unforeseen romantic complications await. However, Sue already knows that nothing compares to the urban jungle of the Great Big Apple. So like a fish out of water, Mick leaves Australia for the first time in his life for Manhattan's concrete maze, where he comes face to face with the complexities of modern life. But will the unpretentious bushman ever adapt to the big city? Today on Buzzn The Tower, we go down under, throw a shrimp on the Barbie, and play with dead kangaroos as we visit the 1986 blockbuster Crocodile Dundee. I'm Mo Shapiro, and joining me as always, the dingo who ate my baby, Max Sanders. I am with that.
Mo, give him your wallet.
What for?
He's got a knife.
That's not a knife. That's a knife. G'day, mate. Let's put another shrimp on the Barbie.
You are the worst.
Oi.
Yeah.
Oi.
Is this what it's like hanging out with me?
TNT.
Yeah.
Oi. Oi.
Are they Australian?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Oh, my God. Yeah, AC/DC's Australian.
That's cool.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Tap dancing Christ, Mac. Come on.
What's the Australian Hall of Fame? It's Mel Gibson.
No, it's Paul Hogan, number one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Mel Gibson's there.
What's his face? Who's Thor?
Hugh Jackman.
No, what's Thor's name?
Adam Sandler.
Thor.
Chris Hemsworth.
Thor.
I know.
Chris
Yeah,
Hemsworth.
yeah, I know.
Come on.
I knew it.
Shame on me. I should let you make the Sandler joke. I could remember Nicole Kidman.
Yeah. Naomi Watts.
Yeah.
Guy Pearce.
Yeah, there's more. There's a lot.
Yeah.
AC/DC, as far as music is concerned, I don't think you can top that.
What about the Land Down Under song? Is that them?
Ozzy.
Okay.
Oi.
Is Oingo Boingo Australian?
I don't think so, Max.
Okay.
These kind of questions
Sorry.
enrage me.
Australia
Focus.
freaks me out.
Get your notes.
Everything there wants to kill me.
Hey, guess what? Today on Buzzn The Tower,
It's all about
we're
you.
going to talk about Crocodile Dundee. We're going to talk about the Lions beating the Packers in Thursday.
Congratulations.
And we're going to talk about Australia. This is quite possibly one of the happiest days of my life. If we could find a way to talk about San Dimas High School football, I'd be pretty pumped up.
You just did.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It rules.
It
That's
does.
the word on the street. Max Sanders, welcome to the show.
Hi.
This is a big deal day. So let's get all the administrative things out of the way. Number one, if you've never visited our wonderful show before, please subscribe, leave a review, 5 stars, whatever you got to do, do it. Make it happen. Do it.
Do
I'm
it
here.
now.
Review me now.
Give us the air.
What you want, Cohagen? Now review my podcast. For more content, which is what a lot of people ask for, go to social media, any platform, preferably TikTok. That's where we slow jam
our
away
bread and
into your
butter.
hearts. At Buzzn The Tower. That's our handle, BUZZN The Tower. Or head on over to patreon.com. Spend some ducats. Give us a little love. You can come in at any level from $3 to $10 a month. We've got everything for everyone.
Yeah. You want to spend more? Go nuts.
Absolutely. You want to get nuts?
Get nuts.
Let's get nuts. BuzzNTheTower.com, where you can buy officially licensed merchandise and you can look like you're a part of the show, because that's all you and I wear. It's just Buzzn The Tower gear.
It is comfy.
That's
Except this shirt I'm wearing with a cat eating pizza and beer
yes.
in a disco ball.
You wear that shirt a lot.
This is brand new.
Well, what's the other one with the lasers and the cats?
I mean, they're all the same.
That's not brand new.
I can show you the purchase on Amazon.
Well, what is the other one that you always wear?
You're
like, the disco ball's
a
green.
sloth on a unicorn eating pizza.
Do you know that the national animal of Scotland is the unicorn?
What?
Isn't that wild?
I don't. How?
I don't know.
Do they put a fake horn? Look at this
look it up
stuff.
if you don't believe me. So the national animal of the United States is the bison, and the national animal of Scotland, kid head no, is the unicorn.
You're right.
I told you.
By the way, the buffalo, Ralphie the buffalo for Colorado.
Yeah.
How do they get away with doing that?
I
Like,
don't know.
that's got to be
Seems like
dangerous.
abuse.
By the way, do you know it's a female?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
No.
I don't know what's weirder, that I know that the unicorn is the national animal of Scotland, or that you know that Colorado's buffalo is female.
Well, it's prime time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Max.
Michigan football 1, 2.
Well, it's a hell of a year to be Mo Shapiro. And Max Sanders, I guess, but you know.
Every year
is a good year for you. I don't even celebrate your success anymore. It's like, hey, Mo, guess what? I was walking into work today and I broke my ankle. The lawsuit's for $2.2 million. Apparently the
ankle's not
wasn't
broken.
level. Yeah. Surprise, surprise. All right. So we're going to talk about Crocodile Dundee. I'm going to do my absolute best to not just make this a entire podcast dedicated to the love affair that I have with the country of Australia. If were it not for the podcast, the fire station, and my wife's
3 kids.
No, I would take the kids and Trish.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for her family, I mean, my sister would come see me. I got to be honest with you, man. There are times in my life where I was like ready to just go.
So you were there when you were in your 20s, and you were doing like Shark Tank.
Dude,
I mean, you were with.
I wasn't presenting to people for a a job.
No. What I'm saying is,
Shark Cage,
do you think Australia has the same appeal to you now that you're in your 40s?
Dude, 100%,
yeah,
100%. So let me
you go great white shark
diving, 100%.
Again,
100%. There's nothing.
You get eaten,
dude. Not when you're in the cage.
I don't know.
I mean, look at the stats, right? People that, first of all, getting killed by a great white, you're more likely to get struck by lightning. Second, nobody dies when they're in the cages. It's when they're like drunk swimming at night and there's a deep bass in the background playing Bonham. I'll tell you, I got so many stories. And I just am so excited. Let me start with our fan spotlight today is a Bears fan. I just want to get this out of the way right now. I am having a lot of trouble deciding what is making me happier about the NFL season. The fact that my Detroit Lions went into Green Bay and just souffled, destroyed, skinned alive.
Is soufflé the right word?
Yeah, absolutely.
They lightly made a pastry that's delicate
soufflé.
to sound.
Well played.
Lamb-basted?
Soufflé wasn't the word. I was looking, what is the cheese-based word that I was thinking of?
Fondue?
Fondue, yes. Damn it. All right, doing it again. You're right. Damn it. You're an illiterate fool, and you missay things all the time, and then you nailed me on soufflé.
Yeah. It feels so good.
I'm so mad. What's the word I'm looking for again?
With cheese?
Yeah. You said it. I just forgot what it was.
Wait, fondue?
Fondue, yes.
That's when you dip fruit
My Detroit
and cheese.
Lions. My Detroit Lions fondued. I'm coining this. They fondued the Green Bay Packers. Then, in addition to that, the Chicago Bears. I can't go on TikTok or on Facebook or on ESPN without people literally pulling their hair out and saying, sell the team.
Yep.
The rhetoric that used to exist for my Detroit Lions about, well, they'll never win while the Fords are here. This is an embarrassment of an institution. There are only 2 teams in the NFL right now that are under the amount of heat, or one other than the Chicago Bears, the Jets, where you got Namath saying, this is absurd. Get Zach Wilson out of here.
I want to kiss you.
Yeah.
I want to kiss Zach Wilson.
That's the best. His drunk, you're pretty. You're a pretty girl. Oh, Namath.
I made out with his granddaughter.
Yeah.
In Alabama.
I don't even know what to say about that.
What?
You would make out with Joe Namath's granddaughter.
I went to a game.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
You sure did, Max.
Well,
Are you sure it's his granddaughter? No,
Yeah.
it wasn't some, never mind. I was going to say something so inappropriate.
I was 19.
Max.
Yeah. You weren't ready for that,
Lions,
were you?
no, wasn't. You caught me off guard. Didn't expect a Joe Namath granddaughter
Connection.
story. All right. So we've taken care of Lions talk. We've taken care of anti-Bears talk. Go Michigan Wolverines. Although still, I just wish that they had some competition and they weren't just going to roll into their tough games playing cream puffs all year, but whatever.
Maryland looks good.
Max.
What? They do.
Okay. All right.
They got the other Tuigalova.
Max Sanders.
Yes.
Do you know Duke almost won last night? Did you watch any
I
of that
saw.
game? Crazy. All right. Max.
Forward
Max.
down the field.
Lions are going to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
We're done talking about that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about
Australia?
Yeah. I have stories that I'll pepper throughout the entire show.
You like to casually flirt with waitresses with it.
I do. Let me just throw this out there right away in case this is your first episode. My junior year of college. No, that's too far. Let me go back. Let me go back to 1986. When I
was in the womb.
When I saw, not in 86, Max, do your math. Come on. When I saw this movie fits into that realm just like Bill and Ted. It is a PG movie that anybody can watch. There are some small problematic things that didn't age well.
PG-13.
Is it PG-13?
Yeah.
It's the violence. The violence got it to 13.
And Linda Kowalski's butt.
No, her butt didn't get it. It's for sure the violence.
Okay.
It's the crocodile attack and the punching.
Okay.
Because
and some guns.
And guns. You're right.
Yeah.
But it is.
And Women of the Night.
It is as
play a role.
soft as a PG-13 movie as
Absolutely.
one could have. Right?
Oh, yeah.
So I watched this movie when I was, 9 or 10 years old.
Did it blow your mind?
I fell in love with Australia because of this movie.
So take me back to 86. This was the second highest grossing movie of that time.
Yeah.
Of 86.
Of that year.
Yeah.
Only beat by Top Gun.
Yeah.
Max.
So was this a sensation? Was this like...
I don't remember it in that regard.
Okay, you weren't wearing a hat?
I don't think I saw it. No, I wasn't wearing his hat. I don't think, because I would have been 7 years old.
Yeah.
I don't think I saw it in theater.
Got it.
But movies like that, like as soon as they came out on VHS, like when you're going to rent movies for the weekend, that's all you're doing is renting movies like
It's
this.
got like the whole wall dedicated to it.
I loved this movie.
Yeah.
There's a couple movies that just had this impact on me. Jaws made me fascinated with sharks, and I wanted to be a marine biologist my whole life until I didn't want to be one anymore. And there are two things that just were on Three things on my bucket list. I always wanted to go to Hawaii. I always wanted to go to Australia. I always wanted to cage dive with great white sharks. Done all three. Had to add some things to that bucket list because I'm only 44.
I want to be a garbage man.
I know. And that's not a joke. You've told me that.
Yeah,
and
trucks seem fun.
I actually think you'd be a really good garbage man. You put your headphones in.
Yeah.
You'd be good not interacting with people.
Yeah.
Yeah, like just, grinding it out.
That or a post office guy.
Oh, yeah.
Walking
You'd be
around.
great in the post office. You should look into that.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
For retirement.
Right. Yeah. In a couple of years. But that being said, every single thing that you see in that movie about Australia is an exaggeration, but also true. And so what I mean by that is, so fast forward, my junior year of college, I'd always wanted to go to Australia, and I set it up so I can study abroad in Australia. I go out there knowing no one. So I didn't go with someone else that I was buddies with in college. Like I show up.
Did you sign a sheet and you just ended up there?
Dude, I literally went to like an orientation.
Yeah.
The program wasn't even ran through Michigan. It was ran through Michigan State. So I went to that orientation. I knew no one. I signed up a little bit late. I didn't have a dorm room. I didn't have a house. I didn't have anything. I talked with the head of so in Australia, uni is short for university.
Got it.
So
Clever.
I went to my uni was the University of Western Australia. Colleges were dorms. So, like at Bursley, Bates, East Quad, all that stuff in
Markley.
Ann Arbor.
Yeah.
In Australia, mine was called, Kingswood.
That sounds Australian.
And even though it was just like a dormitory, they were like frats because you only had to be 18 to drink. So it was wild. I show up. I get my temporary room while I'm trying to find a permanent room. I ended up getting a room in the dorm because some kid went walkabout and didn't come back. No joke. That really happened.
Really?
Some kid who had my room went walkabout. That's it. And he literally, after orientation, got up and went walkabout. And like a month later, he wasn't back and they gave me his room.
How cool would it be to just be walkabout?
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I showed up in that country. It took what was it? I think it's a 16-hour flight from LA to Sydney.
Comfy.
So 4.5 hours, Detroit to LA.
A couple Jack and Cokes.
No, dude. A couple of Valium and like a beer, and I was out. Then 16 from LA to Sydney, and then another 4.5 from Sydney to Perth. So it was wild. It was wild. And from the minute I landed until the minute I left that country, it was the most incredible 6 months of my life.
Wasn't there a bar that you like called like Mr. Krabs or something, or Snow Crabs?
That's
or
amazing. I wish there was.
There's crab racing.
Nope.
Turtle racing.
Nothing that you're talking about actually happened.
Nope.
But it's amazing.
Got it.
I'm going to start. I said I had a dream of opening a bar in Australia called G.I. Joe, a real American bar. And it would be over the top Americana. Like you'd walk in and there'd be guns everywhere and Bibles. So that culturally, the most amazing part about studying abroad is that you don't know what other people think of your country until you go to another country. So I get off the plane. I meet an amazing group of guys, some of which I'm still in touch with. And this happened 22 years ago.
Wow.
I went there my junior year of college, so I would have been 21, and I'm currently 44. 23 years ago, Max.
You're old.
I'm old. That's over half a lifetime ago for me that I went there. Met these amazing guys, and the thing that I found amazing about being out there, and again, I'll feather these stories in throughout the episode because I wouldn't want to upset your apple cart because apparently you're on some type of time schedule right now. My voice and what I want.
Cool.
Lions, Australia, Michigan.
Mozzarella sticks.
Does Good Time Charlie still exist?
Yeah.
Do they still have the Count Twist sticks?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Those things are like literally like 4,000 calories for like one bite.
So good.
I see them and I gain a size.
We should try to get them as a sponsor for the show and ask for no money. Just once a week, send us your Count Twist sticks. Didn't they have like one that had pepperoni in them and one that just has cheese?
They do.
Oh, dear God. I'm all over the map today. I don't even care.
Yeah.
Because I got some big news.
Yep.
All over the map. So I'll tell you another story. Have you eaten at Mr. Spots before?
Yeah. Philly cheesesteaks and wings.
When I was in college,
Yep.
roughly 65 pounds lighter than I am right now, and an athlete.
Were you actually 65 pounds lighter?
Let me do the math. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You were thin.
I wasn't thin. I'm just enormous right now. But I used to get out of bartending at Scorekeepers, and I would go to New York Pizza Depot and take home a large Meat Lovers.
Oh my God.
And I'd go back to my house or my apartment, and I would eat that entire pizza. I'd put a half bottle of Tabasco sauce on it and a giant thing of like Kroger Parmesan cheese. I'd eat the whole pizza.
Oh my God.
I'd go to bed at roughly 6 o'clock in the morning. I would wake up at 3 PM, go to the gym and go out for the night and be fine.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, if I had a bite of that pizza, I would have to shut down the podcast and be rushed to the hospital right now. At Mr. Spots, which if you're in Ann Arbor and you like a good Philly cheesesteak, there's no better place to go. I would get the double Philly cheesesteak, so double meat. I'd get 12 Atomic Hot Wings or whatever the name was.
God.
Waffle chili cheese fries and extra sauces that I would just pour on my Philly and just eat that. And I'd be fine. I go out that night. It's incredible what we used to be able to do.
Yeah.
So for you, it was more of the partying scene. I won't get into specifics. Like you used to be able to drink.
Bottle of pop off.
Oh my God. And now don't you feel like if you have like a cocktail, you're like, ooh.
Yep, pretty much.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Crocodile Dundee.
Are there spiders like they say?
Yes.
Huntsmans?
Yes.
Do they freak you out?
Yes.
Okay.
Spiders,
They're friendly.
Spiders don't bother me. Cockroaches. The cockroaches are the size of small people.
What?
Like Willow Offgood.
Oh my
is the size of a
God.
cockroach.
Like Princess Bride size?
Yeah, it's awful. It's awful. Like when we went to the
How does that not ruin things?
Well, Australia, the thing about Crocodile Dundee that's a little deceiving is it's only showing you the Northern Territory. It's only showing you Kakadu and Darwin and the north part of Australia.
Well, where's
the wilderness.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's not Australia. That's a part of Australia.
Yeah.
If you just went to Perth, Melbourne, Sydney, you wouldn't feel fundamentally different than being in New York, LA.
Okay, the spiders aren't in Sydney?
There's still spiders in Sydney. But the more developed you are, the less wildlife there is, right?
Yeah.
But I will say even in Perth, like kangaroos are like squirrels. Like people have these giant rails on the front of their vehicles. They're called roo guards.
Yeah.
You've seen brush guards in America.
Yeah.
These are called roo guards. They're like pipes that are 3 inches in diameter, and they're used for just mowing over
like Mad
kangaroos.
Max.
It's pretty wild, dude. And you could be out one night and see a bunch of like marsupials just on a tree, and you're like leaving a bar, and you're like, oh, that's a bunch of animals. That's
Did you ever square up with a kangaroo?
No, they are violent, angry animals.
Yeah, they're huge.
Yeah.
They're deers on steroids.
Yeah, we saw emus, which are like ostriches, which are huge, right?
Those freak me out.
So in Australia, that's the part that was like a little misleading about Crocodile Dundee. But the part that's not misleading, Crocodile Dundee shot those scenes in Kakadu. So they were up in the Northern Territory.
Yeah, everyone was Australian on set, like, besides Linda Kowalski, who played Sue.
Charlton. Yeah. So the and the logistics of that, they couldn't even the crew couldn't stay in hotels. They had to stay in huts.
Yeah.
Because they were in a part of the world. So let me back up. Prior to Crocodile Dundee, a lot of what the Northern Territory was mining. So there were roads to get mining equipment up there, but it wasn't developed. Crocodile Dundee put that place on the map, and all of a sudden tourism exploded in the Northern Territory.
Really?
By the time I got there, and I'll pop in with an Australia story, I have never been hiking or on like adventure treks before, anything like that. So my buddy Zach and Keith, who I met while I was down there, we wanted to go and check out the Northern Territory. It was beautiful. It's desert, rainforest, everything you could think of is up there. So we're looking at this like catalog of these different kind of groups that you can go with to go explore the outback. And we wanted to do like a 6 day trek. They had like 1 day trek, 2 day trek.
That's a lot of trekking.
6 day trek. And there were these hiking boots underneath it. We didn't know what that meant. This is, again, the internet wasn't even that big back then, right? This is 2001.
Yeah. Not on your phone.
So we sign up for what we didn't realize. 5 boots underneath it meant like 5 boots
like
of
Black
hiking,
Diamond.
like of hiking experience.
Yeah.
And Max, it was like do or die out there.
I don't want to do that.
It was amazing. It was landscape like you can't imagine. Just we saw Aboriginal artwork, not in a museum, but 6 miles hiking into the outback in a cave.
Yeah.
And then swimming rivers to get to waterfalls that were in the middle of nowhere. We swam down this river. We were on it for, I don't know, maybe a good mile and a half. And it wasn't particularly,
rapid.
It wasn't rapidy, if you will. And we get out.
Fondue.
And Hamish was the name of our guide, who was just, his feet were made of leather. He wore a Croc Dundee hat, and he goes, "Oi, you guys all right? None of you got eaten by any crocs, did you?" And we were like laughing, and he points at a sign, and this sign says, "Beware crocodile infested water."
Yeah.
Because where we were is like, there's salt crocs everywhere, and they drag people out of tents. And like, it's just me and these 2 other guys. One went to Harvard, the other went to Penn. And we were just in the middle of the outback thinking that we could handle this. And it was amazing.
We are very different people.
Max, I'm not different than you. I just didn't know what I'd signed myself up for.
Well, you talk about it lovingly.
Because you would have loved it. Once you survive it, it's a lot of fun.
Sure.
So the other fun thing is when I got off the plane, I get my orientation paperwork. They give me this sheet of paper that says, "Learn to speak Australian." And it was a list of all these different words that they wanted you to learn that are like Australian slang.
Flat like a lizard, right?
Yeah, Bob's your uncle. Good
What's that mean?
Ya. I don't know. I still don't entirely know. A lot of these are derivative of British terms as well.
They're all British people.
Oh, easy. Don't say that.
No?
They're British criminals.
Yeah.
That's what it's supposed to be.
But yeah, those are people.
Yeah,
Criminals are people.
No, I don't know. Like bangas, which are like hot dogs or sausages, like a banga sanga, which is like a hot dog sandwich, I think.
So like a banger? Like a banger?
Yeah, like I say banger. Vegemite, which I love.
Yeah. I hear it's gross.
Meat pies, which I eat the crap out of. Footy, Australian rules football, which I played when I was out there. I played rugby for a local club team. Man, I did everything. I'm sorry. I just want to take a minute and reminisce.
When are you going to go back? You going to take your
Tomorrow.
kids?
No, I can go by myself.
Would you rather take your kids or go by yourself?
I'd rather take the whole family, but it's a kind of trip. You got to be there for a month. What are you going to drive? You're going to fly.
So wait till the kids
hours.
are like 12, 14, 16, right?
Yeah, for sure. Max, I don't even think we've talked about this movie. Why don't we talk about Crocodile Dundee for a minute?
So what? No, I am curious. What did they think about it when you were down there?
That's a good thing to
You
ask.
have a first-hand perspective, yeah.
So what, you know me, I am largely obnoxious.
Yep.
And so there's probably quite a few Australians who their entire image of what an American is was already thought that it was me, and it was validated by this loudmouth American. So I had this buddy, Mike, who was like, local 18-year-old, first year of college, and he was everything like that I am. He was my counterpart, my Australian counterpart. Wild guy. And he'd always do this imitation of an American. Every time an Australian imitates an American, they sound like they're from Dallas.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm a cowboy. I'm from America. I like my guns and I like my Bible. And he would do this all the time. And I would be like, oi, easy, tiger, dingo ate my baby. Crocodile Dundee here. Good day, mate. And I would like just thicken the accent, and then he'd thicken it. We're all just drinking, hanging out, and I find this hilarious. Like, nobody took offense to it. Like, wokeism, if it existed in 2001 somewhere, it wasn't in Australia.
Yeah,
like,
Australia, I think, is the last to
Australia is the U.S. in the 50s.
Yeah.
Well, at least it was 20 years ago. I don't know what it is today.
There's segregation or
Pretty close, dude. There's not, I mean, look, like the women in Australia, like I found this to be incredible. So like in the United States, if an Australian man would come to America, the women, I mean, be like the Hemsworth issue, right? Let me take 2 steps back. Every single person in the whole damn country is in the most incredible shape you've ever seen in your life, and they're all gorgeous. I think that's in large part because the weather is so incredible and there's beaches and stuff to do everywhere. But like I didn't see like a single fat person the whole time I was there. I was the fat person when I was there, and I was like not even fat compared to I am now. Australian women loved American men.
That's
because
cool.
I came over there and I was like opening doors for them and being polite and a little bit scared of women. And they were like, oh, that's great. American women loved Australian men because they had long blonde hair and they weren't, cowardly, and they would like, break it's Crocodile Dundee. That's why Sue fell in love with Mick.
Yep.
So it was quite the trip, if you know what I mean. All right. I dated a girl almost the whole time I was there who was Australian.
Yeah, she was like a surfer, right?
She was a surfer.
Yeah. Why do you
just enjoying this so much. I'm having so much fun. Sorry.
You just have one of those like eye roll memories in your back of your head.
So the guys that we met from Australia said they were blown away by how much we had seen of Australia. So when we got out there, we were traveling to all corners of the continent, and we, on spring break, they'd go to Bali because it's not that far. Meanwhile, I rented
scooter
Land Rover and drove into the desert.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was our spring break. It was amazing. So anyways, they hated Paul Hogan and hated Crocodile Dundee and loved Paul Hogan and loved Crocodile Dundee. Like, they loved the representation that it provided of their country. They just kind of hated that it like oversimplified, because for them, that wasn't their life. They weren't like living in the bush, like they were big city kids that grew up with that. However, do you know what they hated more than that? You know the thing that Australians hate the most in the whole world from my experience?
The Dutch.
No. Fosters.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty,
That would be like you and I going over to like another country and be like, have you had Bud Light?
Yeah.
Let me give you this Bud Light. It's incredible. That's like swill. Now, there's a beer called Victorian Bitter. That is my favorite beer in the world. My bachelor party, somehow they got a hold of it, and I can't find it anywhere. If any of our listeners have access to Stubbies, which are little short, they look like Red Stripe bottles of Victorian Bitter, you can be on the show and replace Max for a year if you can bring me those. Max, that is, in short, as much Australia talk as I want to do right now. Hopefully we didn't lose anyone. And I'm ready to hop into the movie. So, Max.
I have a question for you. Is he a poacher?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
So the whole thing about him being a poacher, though, is that I think
he's not doing it for sport.
Yeah, so poachers are more like the other guys that were shooting the kangaroos.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It confused me.
He is really like, he's the guy that kills the endangered species, but uses every part of the animal. Because, he was raised as an Aborigine. So like, it's for him, it's not as much poaching. But yes, by the strict technical term, if it's illegal to hunt crocodiles and he's hunting them, he's a poacher.
Are you allowed to hunt crocodiles? Like, you get a certain amount of tickets per year? Like, I've watched those Swamp Hunters shows.
Though those are crocodiles. I mean, sorry, those are alligators, not crocodiles, I think. And saltwater crocodiles, I think, are a little bit different. And, and Australia could be different too. I mean,
they're
know.
Dinosaurs. They're going to live forever. They're going to survive.
I don't think people realize how big saltwater crocodiles are.
Aren't they like
They're monstrous.
It's like 15 feet long, right?
I think even bigger.
Yeah. Well, the one in the movie is still alive, and he's 5.1 meters long.
Yeah.
So 15 feet, give or take. Weighs 700 kilograms.
What did the animatronic one cost? $45,000 to make.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, 45 grand. So Paul Hogan wanted to use real crocodiles, and they were like, no.
Well, they used one called Bert, and he lives in a wildlife park in Darwin. Promise me you'll see him if you go back to Australia.
Yeah, for sure.
He's 80 years old.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I wish I'd known when I went last time. I would have checked it out.
Yeah.
All right, Paul Hogan. Paul Hogan is the spark of all of this.
He comes from nowhere, really.
Well, not true, because the Paul Hogan show was syndicated. People knew what it was. That was from 73 to 84.
What was it? Was it a talk show or like?
No, it was a comedy sketch show.
Okay,
he was a comedian by trade. He also was all over the Australian tourism advertisements, and apparently he was one of the first to just be like, come to Australia, throw shrimp on the barbie.
Yeah.
Like that was his thing, right? So he was just, people knew of him. He wasn't, some monster, Tom Cruise at the time, but he was relevant.
Got it.
So he makes this movie in 1977. I guess there's this guy named Rod Ansel.
This is such a bummer.
I don't know if so Paul Hogan claims this is not true.
Have you looked at a picture of him? It's pretty true.
I know. So anyways, this guy, Rob, he's on a boat trip.
They're doppelgangers.
Yeah, his boat capsizes.
Yep.
And because a croc went at him, he spends a night drifting out to sea before he gets himself to a little bit of an island off the shore of Fitzmaurice River in Australia's Northern Territory. And he spent weeks surviving on his wits, including drinking cow blood. Delicious cow blood.
Sounds warm.
Something your fiance being do. A little hunting blood thing. She's a blood drinker, right?
Yeah, you eat the heart right away.
Eat the heart.
Or like Last Mohicans.
Nom, nom, nom. So they're
you saying nom,
by the
nom.
way, this guy died in a standoff with police in 2001.
Yeah, he shot a cop and killed one.
Yeah, so.
And I guess he went crazy because the production company wouldn't even let him give his own Crocodile Dundee tours. Like, you know how the Kramer gave like real Kramer tours?
They gave a cease and desist. Yeah, that's kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
I think this is my single favorite fact of the entire movie. I didn't know it until I got to it, but I love this.
That it was a trilogy?
No, that is my least favorite part. In Excess's lead singer, Michael Hutchence, was one of the film's investors. Among 1,400 other investors, including brokers, wealthy cricketers.
Oh,
cricket,
yeah.
the sport.
I don't get it, but yeah.
Yeah. The Queensland Investment Bank of Paul Morgan and Company underwrote $7.1 million needed to make the movie. Hogan and Cornell added $600,000 of their own money, and ultimately the film made over $300 million.
It's insane.
That's crazy.
Like this movie, this and Three Men and a Baby, I think are the most unexpected
smashes.
Yeah, mega.
This has got to be more of an unexpected, because at least in Three Men and a Baby, you had 3 lead male actors that everyone knew.
Okay, Blair Witch Project.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would Napoleon Dynamite.
Okay, fair too.
Same. I would put this in the same vein.
Yeah.
It is insane. I mean, I don't even know. I have another fact in here. I should dig it up. It had to do with when they were looking for U.S. distribution, they were laughed off the table because this, I'm sure, crushed it in Australia, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, here it is. I got the fact right here. Cornell showed this movie at 20th Century Fox to an executive there. And this is his quote. There was some idiot who sat with his feet on the desk and watched it for about 20 minutes, looking at his watch about 8 different times. And he told me it wouldn't work. Paramount ended up taking it instead of 20th Century Fox.
Bet they regret that.
Big time. 300 million. Top Gun is the only movie that beat it.
Do you know what the 5 were that year, by the way?
No, what were the 5?
Oh my God. So it's Top Gun, this, Platoon, Karate Kid Part 2, and coming up the rear, Back to School. Number 5 with 98 million.
Can you find a different way to say that next time?
No, I get no respect.
By the way, what a terrible movie year.
86?
Well, think about it, dude. Like, or maybe not a terrible movie year, but what a surprise. I love those movies, but they're garbage movies.
Platoon is a garbage movie.
Max, obviously I'm not talking about Platoon. I'm talking about Karate Kid 2.
Back to School.
Okay, thanks. They helped make me a point. Thank you.
Our biggest hit on this podcast.
Armageddon.
Yeah.
That is our biggest hit episode, is the Back to School.
Are you saying Armageddon's not a good movie?
It's a great movie.
Okay, thank you.
It's just, I like listening to Ben Affleck complain about how the plot didn't make sense.
just shut up.
Yeah.
Just shut up, Ben.
Yeah, that's great. It's great. So one of the writers, in addition to Paul Hogan, did not think that the knife line was going to be funny and almost had it removed.
It seems like that always works. It's like the Beetlejuice table dance thing. And
they didn't think that was going to be a big deal.
And there was another one. God, what was it? Shoot.
I know what you're talking
Wax
about.
on, wax off? No.
No. You'll think of it. We'll come back to
Yeah.
it. We talked about Kakadu National Park, which I've been to. It's beautiful. It's about the size of Germany.
Oh, no one puts baby in the corner.
That's right.
Yeah, Swayze thought it was going to be dumb.
Yep.
Yes.
Good work, Max. Kakadu is about the size of Germany. Australia, if you lay it on top of the U.S., I think is about the same size, but with like 1/4 the population.
How big Germany?
I don't know.
I have no frame of reference for that. You're like, oh, it's the size of Germany. I'm like,
Well, it's something for you to look up a little bit later.
cool.
So this is pretty cool. So we know that they filmed in Kakadu, and then the Vazik's Bar in the East Village of New York was also in The Godfather Part 2 and Rent. The New York hotel that they were staying in that had the bidet was in North by Northwest and Home Alone Part 2.
Oh, that's cool.
I thought you would enjoy that.
I do.
The beginning of the movie, when you see Sue looking out over the Sydney Bay Harbor and you see the Sydney Bridge, that was an homage to Paul Hogan, who used to be a rigger who worked on that bridge.
That's really cool.
Isn't that cool?
You know what's really funny, by the way? I want to shout out 80s journalism as like a bougie kind of way of living. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Oh, yeah.
She's like, I'm going to stay in Australia in this penthouse for an extra week and do a story. And they're like, yeah, it's fine. And her dad's, loaded. It's like, I miss journalism being an obnoxious kind of hoity-toity thing.
Oh, yeah. You're like the
to
fourth generation of like rich kids. And you're just like, what are you going to do? But I'm a journalist.
Yeah.
Journalist.
Yeah.
Sweet. We talked about the cast and crew sleeping in huts. I told you about the mechanical crocodile, which was $45,000, which, by the way, I would totally buy for $45,000.
Oh, by the way, if you notice in the titles, it says Crocodile Dundee. It's got quotation marks under crocodile.
Because Americans are stupid.
Because they thought like it'd be like in a world
where a crocodile is real. So funny that you say that, because another adjust for the stupid Americans, the slang in the original cut of this, the Australian saying, right? Like, I put another shrimp on the barbie. Do you know what a barbie is?
It's a barbecue.
Yeah.
Does he say that in this movie?
I don't even know, but I love saying it.
I know you do.
I say it a million times. Like crikey and like, whatever, all these different sayings.
Oi.
Oi.
Yeah.
TNT.
By the way, have we watched Shane Gillis's new Netflix special?
I've not.
Okay, hold on. I got to show you this one part. I'm sorry.
I can't talk about anything you just showed me. It's so
Sorry.
offensive. It's really funny, though. It's really funny.
No.
I totally forgot what we were talking about.
Australia?
Yeah. I think we were talking about Australia.
So Hogan's Bowie knife, there was steel, rubber, and aluminum ones on set. He has one of the steel knives, and he will never sell it.
Yeah. I don't blame him.
I mean, it's really cool. How big is it? It's like 12 inches. It's huge.
I heard there's some critic that said, when they were talking about why they loved, I think it was a New York Times critic, why they loved Crocodile Dundee, and I wish I'd written it down, but something to the effect of, Mick Dundee is a sensible John Rambo.
Oh, that's neat. That's neat.
I was like, that's such a good way of explaining it.
And also, you very rarely get a double fish out of water movie where it's half in Australia, half in New York.
And two different people.
Yeah, and they're both out of place. But like they do this is actually a really good New York movie too.
Yeah. It's really misogynistic, and I'm a huge fan of that.
Sue's pretty bad.
I know, but like he'll make like this thing. Oh, well, it takes me an hour to take a Sheila half a day.
But he learns. You know what I mean?
Does he though?
I hope he learns.
Come on, dude.
Do you think their relationship lasts? In real life, it didn't. They were married.
No, I think Crocodile Dundee 3 killed their marriage. I think they got divorced shortly after 3.
They're like, this is over.
God, I can't believe there was a third. 2 was great. I loved 2.
I need to watch 2.
Oh, it's great. It's great. What else you got for facts?
Let's see. Calm
down. Calm yourself down.
The buffalo in the road was drugged.
Very ornery. He was drugged?
Yeah.
I didn't know
so
that.
So PETA was probably pissed.
PETA can't drug a buffalo. Jesus Christ.
That sounds like a good
That's all you
book
got?
title.
That's a great way to segue.
So Paul Hogan went to New York once before this.
Yeah.
And that's where he got the inspiration for this movie, kind of the fish out of water thing. And he did try saying good day to like everybody.
Oh, really?
Because he wasn't used to being around that many people.
Yeah, I mean, that's a hell of a culture shock. All right, Max. Well, I wanted to end on the drugged buffalo, and you wanted to end on G'day. So with that, why don't we take a quick break for a word from our sponsors? Buzzn The Tower is also brought to you by Dobie Real Estate. You can find them at wearedobie.com. Buying a house and selling a house is treacherous territory. I mean, whether you're eating goanna or a shrimp on the barbie.
Really?
That's a lovely accent you have. New Jersey.
Is it the most quotable movie of all time?
Ever.
Yeah.
No, Austria. Well then, let's put another shrimp on the barbie.
Our pets' heads are falling off.
Man, oh man, Dumb and Dumber. Put that on the list. Dobie Real Estate, buying a house, selling a house. There's nobody better. You got to reach out to him today. Tell him that Buzzn The Tower sent you. Try not to get as confused as we do. It's easy to do, I'm sure. 1,000 homes sold, $400 million in sales. They are the premier real estate agents in Michigan, in the United States. Head out there today, find the house you've been looking for, or sell the house you want to get rid of. All right, Max, let's get back into it and put another shrimp on the barbie.
Would you get a Crocodile Dundee tattoo or an Australia tattoo?
I did get an Australia tattoo.
What is it?
I got a big old turtle on my butt.
You've never shown me that.
You've never asked to see my butt?
It's true.
Unfortunately, Max, that tattoo is covering up another tattoo, and that's a story for another
Really?
time. Oh, yeah. Like, how do you not know this story?
No.
Do you remember my bachelor party, how they had those...
I don't remember much about it.
Yeah, forget it. Never mind. They made fun of it ruthlessly at my bachelor party. I went on a night dive. I was in Cairns, which is where the Great Barrier Reef is.
Mm.
And at that point, my other two buddies and I had advanced certification from PADI in scuba diving, so we can navigate our own dives. So we did a night dive on the Great Barrier Reef, and we came across a 200-year-old sea turtle that was about the size of a Honda Civic.
Oh my God, that's cool.
And in my dive book, I did some sketches of it, nothing special, but I would try to like draw
Like Jack and French girls.
Turtle, let me paint you. And when I went back on shore, I was like, my current girl, so I might as well tell most of the whole story. I don't want to get in too much detail because it's.
Do you have a girl's name on your butt?
Yeah, dude, it's so stupid.
No way.
Yeah, it's on my hip.
Was her name Sheila?
She was quite the Sheila, mate. So I had this little heart with some initials in it. Yeah, it's not one of my smarter moves. I did when I was 18.
That's incredible.
I know. Come on,
I never thought
get it out. Just get it out of your system.
I never
Enjoy
thought
it.
you'd have the worst tattoo out of us.
Boy, that's really well played. And you're right.
Yeah.
God damn it. So, Max, in my head when I got it, I'm like, look, even if we don't get married, because that's where my head was at when I was 18.
I'm going to remember you forever,
even
baby.
if we don't get married, like you're my first love. Like, it's a cool thing to have. I never thought one day I might be laying next to a new girlfriend who might look at that and be like, that's really absurd.
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
Yep.
So when my first like real girlfriend outside of my high school girlfriend was this girl in Australia, and she did not like it. So I was like, you know what? I probably should do something about that. So when I'd already said goodbye to her. We were traveling, school's out. I was on my way home, and I went to this tattoo parlor in Cairns, Australia.
And you're like, oi.
I'm like, oi, fire up a tat. And I asked the guy, I'm like, what can you do exactly to like cover this up? He's like, oh, we're going to put a big old turtle right there. We're going to put the middle, going to be covered up real good, mate. And I got a tattoo.
Send me a picture sometime.
Nope. I'll show it to you when we're done. I'll show it to you right now.
Okay. Bow, chicka, bow, wow. Chicka, 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 bow. Oh, that's pretty good, actually.
So that is where the heart was.
Yeah, that's good. It's not a bad tattoo.
I like the turtle tattoo.
Yeah.
Not so much what was underneath it.
Nice and simple and clean.
Well, Max, that's why I told my oldest daughter, oh, God bless America. Hold on. That's why I told my oldest, sorry, I had a little trouble getting my pants on. I didn't think that would ever be something I'd sweat over. That's why I told my oldest daughter she can't start dating until she's in high school. And even then, she doesn't know I won't let her. Because
yeah, that's really healthy.
Scramble your brains. All right, Max, what were we talking about? Australia?
I mean, the director we could start with and all that stuff.
All right, Peter Feynman. And let me tell you about that director. I have to put this on your list of movies to watch right away. Other than Crocodile Dundee, there's nothing he did other than Dutch. And you've got to watch Dutch. Ed O'Neill.
Yeah.
Al Bundy.
Yeah.
Al Bundy. He is a stepdad. And he is going to go drive and pick up the stepson from military school, private school, something like that. Stepson's a spoiled little brat, hates him, and it's really like a trains, planes, and automobile, and
yeah, I've heard it's good. Like
it's like an homage to like that traveling buddy trip. Except
it's like an underrated gem.
It's really really good.
Yeah,
it's got heart.
Yeah, miles and miles
of heart. I need you to watch it.
Yep.
We got 3 writers. We got Paul Hogan, then we got Ken Shady, because he's shady, Slim Shady, the real Ken Shady, and John Cornell, who also did some production work. Ken Shady did nothing other than
this is lightning in a bottle.
Right. John Cornell produced Almost an Angel, and I need you to watch that movie too.
Okay.
It is really, really good. He also produced Crocodile Dundee too, but I want to talk about Almost an Angel for a minute. Basically...
Is someone almost an angel?
Linda Kozlowski and Paul Hogan said, let's make magic again, but not in a crocodile movie. And this movie, oh man. Who's the guy from Law and Order who was also in
Chris North?
Wet Hot American Summer?
Oh, not Ken Stabler.
No, that's the character's name is Stabler, isn't it? Lieutenant Stabler?
Yeah, it is.
Check his name up.
Christopher Maloney. I got it.
Totally screwed that up. I meant Elias Cotes.
The skinhead from Some Kind of Wonderful.
He's not a skinhead though. Skinhead implies that he's like a racist.
That's what his
punk.
That's what his title is. Look at Some Kind of Wonderful.
I'm not accepting that because that's not who he was. He was better than that.
His head
Call him
was
a punk.
His head had skin on it.
Anyways, so he plays the brother of Linda Kozlowski, who's in a wheelchair. He's dying with he's got some sort of like spinal cancer. But Paul Hogan plays Terry Dean, who's a cat burglar and a thief, and he just gets released from jail.
That was cool.
And this little kid's about to get hit by a bus, and he jumps in front and throws the kid out of the way. And while he's in the hospital, what was it, Michael Landon that was in that show, Touched by an Angel or whatever?
Yeah.
Like that's playing on the TV. And he starts imagining that he is talking to God, who I think is played by Charlton Heston, of all things.
What?
Yeah, at the beginning. God, I have to check that, Max.
This movie sounds crazy.
Hold on. Who plays God in Almost an Angel? Yeah, it was Charlton Heston. How funny is that?
That's really strange.
It's just, yeah, so he's the voice of God, and he actually is there as God in this movie. Anyways, I'm getting too much into Almost an Angel, but it's worth talking about. So the whole movie is Paul Hogan thinks he's an angel. So he completely changes his life and goes around like, while talking to God. God doesn't talk back at all after he gets out of his like mini coma.
Should be your first giveaway.
I know. But it's got heart. Miles and miles of heart.
Yeah.
So I want you to watch that movie.
Okay.
You'll enjoy it. A lot of good chemistry between Mr. and Mrs. Hogan.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah, there should be. Where to leave?
So was that was her derobing a seminal moment for you?
No, I'm not. She's not my like
Type?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know she's very, very pretty. I just doesn't. But you know, I feel the same way about Sharon Stone. She's got that Sharon Stone
You
look.
shut your
I know,
face.
dude. I know.
Casino, man.
I know. Easy.
Total
easy
Recall.
Pesci. Easy Pesci.
Funny how.
So
So no one did anything really in this
No,
movie.
Paul Hogan, Crocodile Dundee, Mick Dundee.
Yeah.
He almost an angel.
Yeah.
And
Subaru commercials.
yep. And then some like self-aware Mr. Dundee movie that just came out a little bit ago.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's not like a Being John Malkovich. Blah, 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 blah. It's not by the way, did you see Malkovich back on Billions?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty
It
sweet.
was really good.
It was good.
It was creepy.
Linda
Gossamer Wings.
Linda Kozlowski, Almost an Angel. She did a bunch of other stuff, but nothing of relevance.
Yeah.
I didn't do any other characters in this entire movie other than two because I'm a weirdo. I did Reginald Vell Johnson, of course, who played Gus, the limo driver. It's okay. I'm a limo driver. He was the jail guard in Ghostbusters. And of course, Al Powell in Die Hard 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And Carl Winslow in Family Matters.
He's an important dude.
In my life, he's a very important guy.
You know what's my favorite thing?
What's your
you know
favorite thing?
You know the show Invincible?
Yes.
The high school they go to is Reginald Vell Johnson High School.
Oh my God. Are you
Isn't that
kidding?
great?
It's really good.
Yeah, I'm just like, satisfying.
I also did Michael Lombard, who played Sam Charlton, who was Sue's dad.
Yeah.
He was Erwin Goldman in Pet Sematary.
Oh, yeah.
So that was like, I got nothing else on anyone
And
else.
he was in Network and Rounders and Devil's Advocate.
Yeah, but that's for me.
Well, Mark Bloom, who's playing Richard Mason, the jerk fiance who gets punched at the dinner.
Yes.
He's Gary Glass in Desperately Seeking Susan. Remember he gets high with Madonna?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
And also he was on Billions at some point.
Really?
Yeah.
On Billions.
Like one episode or something. He was a doctor.
I can see that. That was nuts. I did do John Malin, who played Walter, Walt. The old Walt.
Yeah.
He has the most decorated acting career of anybody in here, but I think it's all Australian stuff. But he was like a child actor and he just acted and acted and acted and acted.
He was good.
I've seen him in nothing else other than
Everyone in this
Crocodile
movie is charming. Oh, and also you can't David Gulpilly, who played
Hugo Billy.
who played Neville Bell, the Aborigines.
Yes.
So he's like a super famous Australian choreographer, like almost on the level of Paul Abdul.
Really?
Yeah, so like
Well, that's kinda cool.
all the dance stuff was him.
Okay.
So he never saw a white person until he was 8 years old, and he was like fearless through life. He learned English quickly. He met the Queen. He had a drinking problem he worked on. He went to prison, became sober, and he was also on The Leftovers. Remember when they go to see the Aborigines tribe on The Leftovers?
I don't.
Yeah. So he was like actually like super famous in Australia.
It's interesting because one thing we didn't talk
He's
about.
really funny.
And I didn't dig into this at all.
When he's looking at his watch and he gets
The
lost.
score in this movie
It's good.
is really good.
Yeah.
It's a very nice blend of like, you've got the didgeridoo. I have a didgeridoo, by the way.
Really?
I hope I didn't
Bring it
get
next
rid of
time.
I'll have to look, but I never learned how to play it other than the basic like. And
And then the New York, like I'm walking here music.
yeah, it's all jazz pop.
He's on a police horse. What's up a day?
It's
Careful,
so true.
the maid might seduce you. Rosita.
It's literally, oh, Mr. Mick. It's literally the most like New York and the most like Outback. Like the Outback is like.
Oh, and the subway scene at the end when they were like repeating through people.
That might be.
It's pretty bad.
So I was gonna get into this. I think are we good on actors?
Yeah.
Okay. Favorite scenes in the movie.
That's your favorite?
Max, it's up there. It's the
they
most,
don't even kiss.
It's the most New York scene ever.
Yeah. The subway guy.
Hey,
yeah.
I'm walking here. Hey,
I love you.
He
She
loves
loves
you.
ya.
He loves you. Hoo-wee! That's how they get the attention. That whole scene. I'd like to remake that scene. That'd be great.
I like when he's at the bar with the taxi guy.
It's a problematic scene there, buddy.
A little bit.
Gives a little grab to someone dressing like something.
Yeah. But when did he punch a bunch of people out? Is it the pimp?
It's the second time he sees the pimp that he punches a bunch of people out. He goes to grab his knife. He doesn't have it. And then he does his little, by the way, as a child, once you see this movie, you have a pet of your own and you do the with the horn thing, like, because you think it's possible to do.
Mind over matter.
So if I really took a moment and reflected upon what my favorite scene is in the movie, it's hard for me not to love when Gus grabs the, I don't even know what, not ornament, but the piece of the limo that looks like a boomerang and throws it. Yeah. He's like, all right, I knew you were tribal. And he's like, Southside Chicago Bulldogs or something like that. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Harlem Warlords.
Yeah, there you go. Look at this. Southside Chicago Bulldogs. How did I get that from Harlem? What else? Other favorite scenes in the movie?
Anything with the hotel. I like him like taking a bath and just hanging out.
You're so weird.
I don't know.
Yeah, no. Every time he punches someone is my favorite scene in the movie.
Fun.
Let me ask you this.
He's like Captain America.
I got a question.
He's Captain Australia.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
What is a more impressive sound when Crocodile Dundee punches someone?
It's already the Predator one. It's the Predator. It's the hand slap. It's the hand slap. It's not even, I'm offended you asked.
That's amazing.
Yeah. This is number 2, but.
Or how about was it Casino when they beat Pesci and his brother to death and throw him in the sand?
Yeah, that's not like a winning sound.
No, but remember the
metal bat.
That's, I can
He's still breathing. Come on, Frankie, stop it. And then they pour dust on him. They're coughing the dust.
All right, Max. This is
that was graphic way to end.
That's all right. Thanks, man. For me, this has got to be one of the tougher ones ever. Who you recasting? If anyone. I mean, I don't think you can recast Paul Hogan, so it's got to be Sue.
Well, no. Could you do Mel Gibson? That's what I thought.
I think that
he could be rugged enough.
There's a lightness and like a sweetness to Paul Hogan that I don't think
Mel could be light.
In the 80s, light and sweet? Give me your example.
I mean, like Martin Riggs at certain points when he's with the family.
At certain points.
Yeah. He doesn't have to turn on the crazy.
I don't know, man.
Like, like we were in the beginning when he was doing Three Stooges?
Yeah.
Like that could be the way he fights. What women want, Mel Gibson?
I don't know. But that's not in the 80s.
Yeah.
I knew you were going to bring that up, though.
I love that movie.
Yeah. Do you know the best part of that movie is when he connects with his daughter in the bathroom?
What?
That's less weird than your statement you made earlier. You know what I'm talking about. His daughter's crying because she got ditched at prom because she wouldn't go to the hotel with him.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like crying and he's talking to her in the stall next to her.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Maybe you should watch the movie before you say, no, it's Mel Gibson from the movie I didn't even see. I
saw it in theaters.
So I think you got to go, I don't know.
I mean, you can remake it with Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah. I think that was being kicked around for a hot
No,
minute.
there was a commercial.
I saw those commercials.
Yeah, there
but
was
I
a
also
Super
think it was
Bowl
being
one.
remade too.
Yeah.
How about for Sue? I think that's easy, right? It's Sharon Stone or what's her face from Sex and the City.
Carrie Bradshaw? I mean, Sarah Jessica Parker.
Nope.
That's Sarah Jessica Parker.
No, also from
Kim Cattrall.
Kim Cattrall.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kim
Right?
Cattrall works.
Yeah. I got nothing else.
Yeah.
There's nobody else in the movie worth recasting. Give me Joe Pesci as her father. Give me Danny DeVito as Gus.
Playing everybody.
So I start blasting.
Danny DeVito as Paul Hogan.
I don't think I sent you that TikTok. So I sent Max this TikTok.
It can't be real.
It has to be real. It says there's a charity, and for $10,000, you can spend the night drinking with the entire cast of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and they'll roast you. And I'm like, how are we not doing this? Like this
the way they talk about drinking, they seem to get after it in a way where I feel like
You and I would be wrecked.
well, no, we'd keep up and we'd be fun. Well, you would maybe
I
anymore,
wouldn't.
but
And you would? Come on.
no, but I can still. But
So you say.
Electric Forest proved it to me. But I emotionally I wouldn't recover from them insulting me.
No. Not at all.
You'd be loving it. You'd join them.
I'd be like, Max is the worst.
yeah.
You guys got it.
I'd be Rickety Cricket.
I'd introduce you as.
Yeah. Siri's on.
Oh.
Siri, turn off. Siri, go away. Siri, stop it.
That may be beyond my abilities at the moment.
I don't know. 3 years. 3 years we've been doing this podcast. How do you not turn your audio off on your computer when we record?
It's off.
Incredible.
It's the microphone.
Unbelievable.
Don't
you feel embarrassed by these kind of things?
Kinda.
You should. You don't at all. You have no shame. Max, what else do you want to talk about regarding Crocodile Dundee?
Nothing. I think we're good.
Well, then, Max, by God, let's throw another shrimp on the barbie and go to a fan spotlight. Max, today's Buzzn The Tower fan spotlight is AJ, who was kind enough to give us a spotlight last week that we didn't need, so he came back this week. Outside of being a Bears fan, I have nothing bad to say about him.
He's got long flowing hair.
He's a fan of the show.
Madison, Wisconsin.
Yeah, there you go.
What's up, Badgers?
Calm down, Max. Fan of the show, interactive dude, always telling you what he thinks and feels. That's important. You need friendship, like some people need air to breathe. I am curious to see what AJ had to say and hope he didn't make any bear down comments in his spotlight. So let's hear what he had to say about Crocodile Dundee.
If you grew up in the 80s and you hear someone say, "Good day, mate. Let's go down under and slip another shrimp on the barbie," you can't help but think of 1986's Crocodile Dundee, starring Paul Hogan as Michael J. Dundee, known to his friends as Mick and to his adoring fans as the legend that is Crocodile Dundee. Just your classic fish out of water, or should I say crocodile out of the billabong story. And on the rewatch, it was still a good movie. It was funny. It had some heart. Most of the jokes work. Most of them. I'll leave that there. The biggest issue that I had was with the first kind of half of the movie when Sue, the reporter, the actress Linda Kozlowski, is in the bush. First of all, there seems to be a lacking chemistry between her and Crocodile Dundee, which is shocking considering those two actors actually got married and were married for 24 years after this. So despite that, there just didn't seem to be any real chemistry. It was weird. You know, he's calling her a Sheila, and yet she's like attracted to him, but she's not. I mean, I guess it's kind of like the Jane Tarzan thing, but anyways, it didn't really work for me. But the second part was, while they're kind of there in the outback, her character is just so unbelievable. I mean, am I really supposed to believe that she's walking around the Australian outback in ballet flats and a leotard? I mean, am I supposed to believe that? Or that she decided to crawl to the edge of water when she knows there's crocodiles all around? And then lastly, that she's going to just fill a canteen in a random nasty river? I don't know. I feel like anybody who has done any kind of camping knows, like, you don't just drink random water. Anyways, like I said, overall, really still enjoyed the movie. Really loved kind of the shots of, kind of the outback in Australia. Thought it was very cool how they, kind of show the Aborigines in Australia and bring that aspect out. Because let's be honest, the majority of everyone's knowledge, and when I say everyone, I mean everyone in the United States, our knowledge of Australia comes from this movie and probably The Rescuers Down Under. At least that's where we learned that poaching was a bad thing, because they kind of brush it under the rug in this movie. Also, it was nice to see Reginald Vell Johnson, a.k.a. Sergeant Al Powell, a.k.a. Carl Winslow, as Gus the limo driver. Always nice to see his smiling face. Lastly, my favorite scene is still the mugging, when the guy pulls out the switchblade and Mick goes, "That's not a knife, This is a knife, and pulls out his Rambo knife. Still brings a smile to my face every time I see it. Mo and Max, thanks again so much for having me on, guys. Talk to you later.
You know, it's such a good point about the flats and the tutu. It makes me think of the criticism that Jurassic World came under because that girl's wearing heels the whole time. Yeah. And also, you know, the scene that we didn't talk about that I love when he throws the can of food.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot about that as well. But he's right. I mean, for my entire childhood, you know, before there was Chris Hemsworth, before even really, even Mel Gibson never hammed up the Australian.
No.
Like all of my like G'day and all that stuff, it's all Paul Hogan. Like Paul Hogan is Australian.
He really leaned into it.
He did. I'd like you to lean into it, Max.
Lean into what?
I don't know, Max. AJ,
I think the
you.
Boston accent.
Yeah, I know. AJ, good luck today. I think you guys are playing the Broncos.
They're winning right now.
They're up on the Broncos?
17-0.
Oh, boy.
Which is terrible for them, actually, because they want the number 1 pick. So it's like you can't win.
It's good news for us.
Yeah.
They're both garbage. We get to play them both.
Yeah.
Whee! Between the Broncos and the Bears, we have 3 games against them. Woohoo!
And Panthers next week.
Oh, rar, you little Panthers. All right, anyways, Max, that concludes our show on Crocodile Dundee. And I have some big news.
What?
Today is officially the last day that we record in the Paul Chambers inaugural studio.
Yeah.
The studio is finished. We've done sound tests. We're doing some final tweaks. And next week, we will be recording our first episode from we don't have a name for the studio yet. We're working on some names. But from the studio that is in my basement, the pit. Right now, it's called the pit. Other than that, Max, I will tell you again, if you haven't listened to the show before or you haven't subscribed, do so now. Leave a 5-star review. And check us out on all social media platforms at Buzzn The Tower. Patreon.com, BuzzNTheTower.com. What do you got, Max?
Up north in the Never Never, where the land is harsh and bare, lives a mighty hunter named Max Sanders who can dance like Fred Astaire.
It's good.
None of that's true.
No, I like that. I can see you dancing like Fred Astaire.
I can't dance.
I like that.
Unless I get some vodka in me.
No, I like it. It's good. I will end with a chant that we used to do all the time at the bar, at sporting events, and everything else.
Okay.
You could be anywhere in Australia. Anywhere. And if you go, Aussie, 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 someone will go, oi, oi, oi.
I like it.
And there you go.
Goodbye.
Good day. You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.